Yo. Yo, can you hear me? Alright, sorry about the whole delay and stuff. But we're good on the whole delay thing in terms of like the video and stuff, so when it comes to doing the commentary, I'm just gonna I'm gonna speak, then you speak, and then, you know, we're to go back and forth like that. I'm gonna try not to interrupt in the middle of it because, you know, it's gonna get kind of weird for the whole audio thing. But yeah, just I guess just tell me, like, you know, what did you think of everything? I mean, even though, you know, I'm not gonna say the score yet because, you know, people haven't seen it. But what did you think of everything in general? Like, how did you feel in the matchup versus Chun-Li?
It seemed like every time when I was trying to throw out like either like a crouching jab or anything like that, it was just constantly getting stuck by something else, and it always seemed like regardless if I was either going to go high with like a pierce or a crouching forward, it was just like kind of predictable and always punished with the crouching medium kick to her super art. And also in terms of that, it's like whenever I was trying to play a little bit more defensively, then I was just constantly eating carrot throws. So I was trying to like incorporate a little bit of like more of the guard jump and stuff, but I probably wasn't even like doing it like correctly, and I was just getting like snuffed out of the.
Yeah, I noticed like a lot of the time you did get mixed up easily, but for the most part, I mean, with the lag aside, you had good usage of your normals. Just a few things that you could have done better was use different normals. Like, don't get me wrong, like his low forward is really good versus, you know, in terms of footsies versus Chun. Like, it's the best normal he has, but you could have used standing fierce more to, like, you know, to just put me on the edge instead of like simply it'll keep me in check in terms of like me throwing out low moves, because it can be a counterpoke for low hits, but when it comes to Chun-Li, it's a little weird. But the whole purpose of the mix-up between low forward and standing fierce is it's mostly just for you to gain meter and for you to, like, you know, develop your pressure in order to like push me into the corner. So a lot of the times when I got you into the corner, it was kind of like downhill from there because, you know, you hadn't really no options like to get out. So but we'll take a look at the first match first, and, you know, we'll see where we go from there. But what is it? Alright, so just toggle ready, and yeah. And this is gonna be the first one. At least I hope it is.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
See, like right there, that was a good example of the low forward. You're throwing it out perfectly, but with everything else in the game, it revolves around meter. So you have to focus on building the meter instead of right there, like throwing out fireballs like that. So, you know, once you get used to like building meter more, you know, in a better way, like standing strong works well to build meter. You know, just regular stuff, like instead of jumping in right there. Because right now I'm working on getting meter too by doing lightning leg. That's the point of it. And no, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And I think this is where we were lagging. But yeah, I noticed that every time like you try to do, you know, like like a tackle into something and you didn't get anything, it was actually supposed to be an Aegis and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it happens. I mean, even the best players like mess that up sometimes. But I mean, the point, like I said, it revolves around the meter, especially with Urian. So when it comes to trying to push me into oh shit, I got a trophy. but yeah. So working around the normals, making sure you get that first meter, and trying to find the opening in a better way. I mean, because I noticed that every time, like, you're really focused on trying to get the Aegis out. Now, I'm not sure if you're thinking of anything else in terms of like, like what normals am I throwing out? Like, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do there? Like on wake up. Like, I don't. Is that something that you think about when like you're in the middle of the game, or you're just like thinking, okay, I need to get out?
Whenever I am like stuck in the corner, my first reaction is to try to get out, obviously. But when it comes to like throwing out a normal and then trying to get out, it's never really occurred to me. It's just like I think it's just more or less like I'm panicking and I'm just trying to like get away and then try to push you back in. But yeah, and that is like in this case it didn't work out that way.
So I mean, it's mostly like you just like trying to get me off of you then, not really thinking like, okay, he's gonna press low forward here because he did it in the last situation, right? And that's a big thing that a lot of players have. I mean, that's something that I used to have too. I was just like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here, you know. But I mean, another thing you could have done is like, do you think about the different ways he can get out? Like aside from using guard jump, aside from like just blocking, have you thought of anything else? Like what are the options that you have? Yeah, that's the perfect one. You get stuff with back fears. Yeah. Well, that's a good idea to use. I'm surprised you didn't really use that many headbutts either. But you probably just know already that it gets punished easily. But I mean, it's what happened? Hmm. It's just something that I guess it became a habit then, like where you headbutt and then you just try to grab. Well, I mean, another thing you can do. I mean, it depends. It's obviously depends on situations. So you can probably just headbutt and then buffer parry, because a lot of times instead of trying to counter grab, a lot of players would try to low tech, and that obviously it's the same thing. It's like you tech the throw, but yeah, I mean, if you buffer the parry instead and then try to get the grab out, I mean that might work a little bit better. Because once you see the parry, you can probably just go into crouching and fierce. But it depends on the character, because some characters low jabs are really too fast, like like Chun-Li and stuff, But yeah, so we'll stick on that point where the whole. That's like the basis of where everything went wrong for you, because throughout the matches, that's what I saw. Like it's always a wake up game that gives the most trouble. So we'll go on to the next match and we'll see where you go from there. Oops.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
Yeah, and I kept on building meters with the lightning legs like that. See? I already got one bar right here. And just kept on pushing her into the corner. And right there, you had good air parries too. That was another thing. And I think right here we lagged too. Yeah. That was a good one. Right there, you caught me. Like doing an EX headbutt. Like I noticed, like you do that to get over me in case I do, in case I block. And sometimes it helps. Sometimes, like in that situation, it helps. But all the time, it's really easy to see, and I can counter grab you. And that's another thing right there with the roundhouses. You can actually like try to work on timing it better to do it late, like really late, because that'll make it much more safer than doing it like a little bit earlier. Another thing you can try to do is with like a normal, like for example jump strong, because you know how jump strong has that like, you know, animation where it seems like it's about to hit me. So you can always stick to that and like use that as an empty jump to grab when you get down. You never thought of that. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of thing that people forget, like, you know, empty jumps are just as good as, you know, regular jumps. And especially if I'm already, you know, in that zone where, okay, I see you're gonna jump in at me, then it's like, you know, you should take a step back and think, okay, I need to either buffer parry in the air or whiff a normal to make him think I'm gonna do something. And it's something that works really well. I mean, jumping strong when you whiff it, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen matches where Makotos they do jump roundhouse, and then as they land they do command grab. Like they whiff the roundhouse, and then they land and they do command grab. Like that's one setup that they use, and it gives that deception, and it works really well with Yuri too, because sometimes when you do the empty jump, you actually land a lot faster than you normally would, because you know you're not, you know, delaying yourself with a normal. And you could probably like, you know, buffer a parry in case they try to anti-air you, and from there it's, you know, it's all yours. You know, one parry and that's all Yuri needs. So but I mean, like I said, you did a good job, like, you know, trying to parry the anti-airs. But it would work extremely well if you know, whiff the normal and then, you know, try to grab or buffer parry or something. You know, just try to keep that in your head when, like, you know, you're trying to mix up or trying to get in actually. But also keeping the whole late jump and roundhouse thing is, you know, that's the most important thing, because you know, a lot of the times if a normal is really late when you jump in, it's not going to be able to get punished. So, you know, yeah, go ahead.
I throw out the roundhouse as early as I actually do is because of the that one metric video where his third strike concept of anti-air, where as soon as you throw out any kind of move in the air, then you're pretty much completely vulnerable, you know, from like a crouching medium. So I try to, like, I think I'm trying to avoid that, but instead it's just completely backfiring when it gets parried. Then the same exact result, like, that I fear is actually happening just because it's a parry. But I'll definitely try to, like, throw it out late, like how you were saying, and then to get in instead of what.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, I mean, not the whole metric thing, but you know, he talks about a good concept where, like, you know, you throw out the normal early and it's, you know, there's that whole mix up with anti-airs and stuff, but you know, that's the point of the parry, you know. I mean, you can always deal with it in that way. And one thing that I would do is because as a high level player, you always have to, you know, buffer parry in the air no matter what. Either as soon as you jump, in the mid jump, or late in your jump. There's always those three different times where you want to parry. What do you? Well, there's no delay in it actually. I mean, like for me, if I'm stuck in the corner and I want to get out, like I'm going from down back to jump to up forward, and then as soon as I push up forward, I tap forward, and from there, it's all about timing. I mean, right there, I have a few frames to buffer a parry, and it's really difficult to parry as soon as you jump. But I mean, it's really useful to, like, you know, do it right then and there. But there shouldn't be any delay unless you're expecting something. So, you know, it's not really, it's very situational. But when it comes to being safe in the corner, or like trying to get out, you always have to put that defensive parry out, and you know, as soon as you jump, you buffer. But what was it? Yeah, another thing I do is like I always parry as soon as I jump out if you're close to me, but if you're far, I always parry midway in my jump, like as I'm coming down. But then if I don't see anything like midway, then I press roundhouse, and by the time I press my roundhouse, it's actually a late jump in, and I'll hit you like right there at the knees, or, you know, at the waist, or whatever character it is. And even if you parry, the yeah, I'm already practically blocking and stuff, and in that situation, if they parry and I'm right there in their face, it's a grab. It's always a grab to neutralize the situation, and you know, that's how everything is. Like, that's like, you know, the process, like the development process. Like, you know, I do something here, and then, you know, we're always trying to neutralize, either get the advantage or neutralize everything. And that's the way it is with the whole jump in aspect. So, but I mean, that's why I say, like, try to use more late jump-ins, and you'll definitely see some improvements in that. Alright, so here's the third one.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
That's one thing I noticed. You always try to go for the crouching round. Like, in certain distances, it's okay to just do standing pierce instead of crouching round. Because, I mean, a lot of the times you have to develop your meter first and foremost, and then from there you go on. And that right there is perfect. And right here, you probably try to, I don't know, you probably try to do a tackle or something. Yeah, try to use more low short into fireball instead, into the sweet spot. Because you know, like I always say in my videos, the sweet spot Aegis is a lot more scary than just an Aegis on top of me. And I'll probably show you why, like, either in this match or another match. Yeah, and right there, I was just showing you, like, you know, the danger of it. Like, if you let me have my 2 meters right there, then that's it. Like, one match is gone. You know, one round is gone. So Yeah, that the cross up thing. It's kind of specific for certain characters. I mean, she can do it for against the big characters, like the characters who have like a high jump arc and stuff. But yeah, like that's just a little trick that she has a lot of tricks in the corner, and that's what makes her so dangerous. But you know, for the most part, you know, just stick to guarding the same way, and you know, by the time you get a little bit better, you'll see your reactions climbing, and you'll be able to like just move, react to stuff like that. I mean, it'll be a little bit difficult, but it's possible. Yeah. Alright, so next one.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
More standing pierces. Right there, you could have grabbed me, and that would have worked well. Like it's okay to grab to develop the pressure, and you're just letting me hit you right here. Another thing is empty jump, low forward. That works perfectly against jumping. Yeah, empty jump, low forward is really deceptive. Right here, you should be using it to build your meter. Make that chance to build your meter right there. And now I have 2 bars, you have 1. And it's gonna be really difficult.
Fighters ready. Engage.
See, Fireball Aegis would have pushed me back, you could have tackled, and pushed me into the corner, and you would have had your second meter back. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to think about. I mean, you don't have to go too crazy, but you'll start seeing the progress slowly and slowly as you go further. Like, just start with the normals, and then you'll start seeing like little things. And like everything else, it's the little things that matter, you know.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
You should have waited a little bit. And right there, that's why I say the sweet spot is more dangerous. Because as you can see, like I just parried forward once and then blocked. And that eliminates like a good chunk of options. And right here, it's a lot more troublesome. See? Like I'm forced to commit to a certain option because I'm worried either of an overhead, a low, or a grab. Compared to either an overhead or a low in the corner. You know? Yeah, because that's really scary. That actually does more damage. Because it's a lot of things that Urian players don't know. Is that when if the Aegis is in front of them, well, just like anything, any kind of Aegis, if the Aegis is like hit once, it actually lasts longer. You'll notice that like compared to the Aegis being on top, compared to tapping the opponent and then staying out much longer. You'll see it. Like right here, you see how long it stays out. Look at that. Compared to if it's right on top of me, I'm blocking the hits, so all the hits are being used. You know, so... Ouch. Damn it. Ah. I'm assuming you probably tried to... Yeah, actually this is where we lagged actually. And you tried to do Aegis right there too.
You win.
Standing fierce is the better whatchamacallit, the better yeah, the better option, you know, because I mean that's a lot of trouble that Urian players have. I mean they always stick to crouching fierce instead of like standing fierce, even though standing fierce, if it chops them, that's a good chunk of meter you get. They get pushed back, and they're gonna be more aware that okay, like I need to worry about my normals, you know. So plus it hurts. The shit hurts, but yeah. I think this is where we lagged out for some reason. But I mean, you did get close there, anyways. I mean. You know, it's good improvement, just like the little things, but it's still a lot to take in. Like, you know, just grabs, low forward, and standing fierce are your best friends. Especially grabs, because Urian's grab is really it's pretty deceptive. It's actually fun to know. His grabs, because his grab rate is more deceptive than normal. Ah. Yeah, just be careful at that point. Like, don't worry if like, you know, I go for the grab or whatever. Just see what I do first, take your time, and then work to get out. Ah, you gotta watch that. See, right there is perfect. You saw how like you did the standing fierce and I walked up a little bit into the low forward. That's part of it. That's part of the ground game. You know, standing fierce is gonna get me worried, like, okay, I need to watch out for that. But you can move in a little bit and just throw out the low forward. Nice. And it's okay to go for another grab afterwards too. Like, just go for the grab. And if you have to grab somebody like more than once, just do it.
You win.
Because that's one thing that happened. You grab me once, and then that's it. To grab again. Yeah. I mean, it happens, you know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's also good because, you know, it opens up your opponent a lot more, because they're gonna be worried about the grab. So either they're gonna be jumping or throwing out a normal. So that gives you the advantage because, you know, you either get to buffer a parry or just wait for them to jump and you can anti-air them. Yeah, well, in today's day and age, I mean, you can like write this in your phone.
Get ready to die. Ready? Go.
Yeah, more standing fierce. But I like the way you do the roll forward into the dash and grab. I mean, try not to do it too much, but... Ah, you missed again. Be careful with that. See? You saw how that was a late. How that was a late jump in, and I missed the counter. That's exactly what I was talking about. And try not to use too many fireballs like that anymore. Unless it's for unless it's for the only fireballs you would want to use is like for anti-airs would be the fierce fireball. because it recovers faster, and it's actually much better than using strong fireball. And you only want to use the light punch fireball unless it's into Aegis, or unless your opponent has no meter. But even then, it's better to just stick to the normals, and then once you have meter, you can use it. See? Oh, sorry. But you notice how like there's like so much recovery on the fireballs. So only use the light punch fireballs when it comes to using Aegis. So like right here you could probably use it. Right here you could probably use it too. Yeah. I think I go crazy here. Because you almost had me too. And right there. But you're probably just too greedy, you know? But you know, it shows you the little things. Like just if you have low life, don't worry about like you know, blocking. Well, I mean, on the contrary, actually, I mean, worry about blocking, but like, you know, stick to it. Don't give it up, you know. Yeah, and you know that match actually showed like a bunch of like the improvements that I was talking about. Like, you know, the Aegis that you did, one of them was in good positioning. Then another way you can do it is to mix it up on top of me. I mean that works well too, because you know it depends on what I'm expecting. But there's that, and the whole late jump in thing that worked perfectly. And the way you're using your normals, that actually showed improvement too, and you were actually grabbing more. And you noticed how like when you know, apply the improvements, you actually get closer to the win compared to the other games. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And, you know, it's something you'll be able to look back on.
Get ready. Are you ready? Go. Crush.
And right here, it's okay to do light punch fireball to force me to jump. Like, the more you force me to do an option, the easier it is for you to read me. Don't worry about the track. There you go, see? The fierce makes me, like, it makes me want to throw out a standing fierce myself. So that's where the low forward comes in, for a counter poke. And see how... Rival Aegis would work. Grab again.
Are you ready? Go. Let's go.
Oh yeah. It's always towards the opponent. Right here, I start noticing that you're throwing low forwards out after a block strike. Like after I do low short or something, you would always throw low forward. And one thing with Chun-Li, she can low jab you, and it'll stuff the low forward. You'll notice it after a while. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I mean that happens. I mean it's always about like players trying to keep the other opponent out. But with Urian, you can't really do that. You have to get in. So it's actually the opposite. You have to find the openings and like abuse them. You know.
Get ready. Are you ready? Go.
Say I start noticing that you're throwing out normals like after I hit you. I start noticing you throwing out normals after I hit you. So I start either buffering a parry or doing low jab to like stuff it out. You'll see it in this match. Right there I noticed it. And now I start looking for that. Like once you smell something like that, you go for it. Like that's just the way high level works. When you see an opening, you go for it. And you're gonna start seeing. Yeah, and you'll see it. Like see, like right there, I'm start doing low jabs. And you saw that? It stuffed out the low forward on startup. And it's a problem for Chun-Li because I can do low jab into super just by buffering it. But I kept missing it. That's one of the main things that I had problems with. Right there?
You win.
What happened? Oh yeah. Well, at that distance, what did you think you could do? Okay. Because I was gonna say if you're gonna do crouching fierce, that's a little different. Because it's too far, right? Yeah. Or low roundhouse too, to get the knockdown. That could have worked as well. Low roundhouse. I mean, it's always okay to throw it out because it actually does have more range than low forward. So if you get out the tip of it, like the max range low roundhouse, you should be relatively safe against other characters. But Chun-Li, it's not really because of her super, but it still works as like a move to knock down, and the knockdown is most important. So it's okay to throw it out there. Alright, so this is. This is number 10. Yeah. You'll notice, like after you throw out the low forwards, I always try to counter poke you with standing fierce. And that's, that's one of the things that you can look for too. Like, it just shows you, like, the little nuances. And right there I was throwing the low jabs out to stop the low forwards. And instead of doing that, you could have, because that's an easy unblockable to get out of, So after the finisher for the combo, you could have just laid the Aegis on top of me or right in front of me, and that would have sealed the win for you a lot easier.
Prepare to strike now.
Yeah, well, instead of doing the tackle into the unblockable setup, it would in that situation it would have been better to like get the knockdown with the standing fierce, like normally, and then just put the Aegis either on top of me or in front of me, Yeah, and then just kill me from there. Same thing here, because that's an easy unblockable to get out of. I just blocked the wrong way when I buried it.
Final round.
Yeah, yeah.
Now.
And right there, you see that again? The low jab. And now I'm just forcing you. And right there, I'm just showing it to you. Like I can beat that low forward with the low jab easily. Yeah. Not many Chun-Li players know about it. So, you know, it's something to keep in mind. And right here, you have a good setup. Low short fireball would have put me in the corner, and you would have had your Aegis out, and everything would have worked well. And right there, that's why I say you should have stayed behind it and build your meter. Cause look at your bar too. Yeah, and it's those opportunities that make the difference. So, and you know that was number 10.
Diamond player on he goes super cake, and whenever I got him into the corner like that and I did the fireball into like an Aegis, not necessarily an Aegis that's going into like the sweet spot or on top of him, but literally as soon as I threw out the fireball on Aegis, he would just do her super art and just go right underneath both of them and just completely punish me before I could even like do anything. So I think that's why I wasn't like trying to do that, because I just had that in the back of my mind that was, you know, that could happen.
So wait, so you what was the situation again? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's probably if you did you put a normal in front of the fireball? Okay, then that's probably reaction. But if you did low forward, or I mean not low forward, low short into fireball and then Aegis, and then he did super, that probably would have been a mash. But you know, if it's just fireball Aegis, then yeah, that's pretty easy to see. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's, you know, don't worry about that, because for the most part, if you do a low short into the fireball, you'll be safe most of the time. Especially because of the Aegis too, you know. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. What else was it? Wait, so that was on Super Cade, you said? Oh yeah, I played that guy before. He's a good player. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. But he played Chun-Li too. Because when I played him, he only used Ken. Yeah, I think Ken's his best character, according to some people. That's weird. But well, I mean, hold on, what happened? No, I was just gonna talk about that, because you know, that's one thing that I've noticed, like, people always say, but it's always something else. Like, they say that their main is one character, but they're actually better with another. You know. But I mean, in terms of the situations, you know, overall, the neutral game that you had, it was okay, but it could be much better. Like I said, I mean, I told you, like, low forward, standing fierce. Yeah. Yeah, and what's just different setups. I mean, I don't know who you watch, like, in terms of videos, but you know, there are a bunch of Urian players that play really differently. I mean, obviously the generic ones are Pierre and RX, but there are different kinds of players. They utilize different things like different setups, different normals, and you know it's really interesting to see like you know the different ways Urien can be played. But at this point, since you can't really get the combos out effectively at a higher level, try to work on just the ground game first, and sticking to grabs, sticking to even like normals, like even forward fierce as an overhead, because you never really use that. So I mean, throw things like that out there, like keep an open mind when it comes to the normals, and you'll notice people start following you, like in terms like they'll start playing your way, the way you like it, and once you get that whole fear of like, okay, he's good with his normals, he's gonna grab me, then you can start working on the Aegis and all that kind of stuff, and you'll see a bunch of improvements overall. But in terms of the Chun-Li match, like just stick to generic things, but a lot more defensive than anything. Like don't worry about the command grab. Don't worry about the counter grab. It's okay to buffer a parry low and then block. Because I think I went over this in one of my videos, but I'm gonna invite you to a match really quick, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I mean by this is actually, well, I'm gonna explain it more when he gets here. What I mean by this is, a lot of players, they tend to forget that they can walk and block, or walk and buffer parry and then block, and it's really effective, especially against like Chun-Li and stuff. So I'm gonna showcase that here. Alright, so what I'm gonna show you is like, I want you to pick Chun-Li, and just throw out low forwards, or throw out like, whatever normal you feel like that Chun-Li should throw out. So we'll start this by you grabbing me once, and I'll show the the different scenarios. So grab me once, and right here I have to worry about either a counter grab or a low forward or back fierce. What the fuck? You know how to do it? Alright, so right here I'm worried about standing fierce is the biggest one, because it obstructs my aerial, So I can't really, so I have to be ready to block low and to low forward in order to go under the standing fierce. Because if you stick out a standing fierce, like at that distance, I can move around and adjust it, so the standing fierce will push you back a little bit more, and then from there I get my spacing, and then I start moving around more. And you see that? And throwing out some jabs can, you'll notice like it's really just, huh? Yeah, it's good for anti-airs, but it's also good to like, to send that message, like, okay, like, I'm not, like, I'm gonna trick you right here, and just like, cause you see how like I'm actually inching closer to you. You see? But yeah, so that's just the little things like right there. So just keep your reserve when it comes to being in the corner like that. But now in the neutral game, you really have to be aware of the spacing. At this distance, try to go walk up and then walk and block like this. Yeah, because from this distance, you have to close in the gap eventually. So walk and block like this. So if you throw out a low forward, see? You can buffer a parry too and then block. So that's what I'm doing. So do low short into low forward. Like do it one after another. And then do it, now delay it a little bit. A little bit more. And you see right there how I blocked? That's what happens after the parry. So it kind of sent... And being able to block, exactly. Yeah, so I give myself the advantage at that point because if I get the parry, I can do low forward to like push you back more. Or you know, it's just that's the point of the neutral game. You have to do things like that. Yeah, fuck. But yeah, you know, it's always okay to you know, walk and then buffer parry and then block, or just walk and block to close in the gap. Because, you know, with Urian, it's like you have to worry about things anyways. You have to worry about the crouching fierce. You have to worry about getting grabbed. You know, so with Chun-Li, it's a lot harder, but with other characters, you'll start seeing it. It's a lot easier. Yeah, go to rematch. And what else? Oh, and do the low forward thing too again. Oh. This is exactly the way you were playing before. Sticking out a standing fierce, and then a low forward afterwards. And what does that do? Like, how do you feel when I press the standing fierce, and then what do you feel after I press the standing fierce? Like, you want to get closer, right?
It seems like whenever you were pushing me back with the crouching medium and then throwing out the spears, like I just felt like I don't know, for some reason it just, to me it just seemed like I was just like slightly out of its range, where like I could see it like kind of like whiffing, and yeah, that's definitely too far. Never actually see it doing.
And
Into the heat of battle, go for it.
yeah, and another thing is standing strong can work for it too. Like you can use standing strong is actually a little bit better because it whiffs on her crouching, and it's actually faster, and plus it's good for building meter. So you can use it. Yeah, and it's the same concept with standing jab. Like, you know, the same thing with standing fierce. Like the standing jab, it kind of gives you that whole. It kind of defines the spacing. You know, it's like okay, I'm right here, and what are you gonna do? You know, that's the message it's sending. And then it's like once I do this, and you see how you get hit by the standing fierce for trying to counter poke. And then from here, it's like. Now you have to worry. You see?
You win.
To play the neutral game, like that's what it is, yeah. But you know, obviously, don't get careless with it. But use it to develop everything. Develop your ground game. Develop your meter. You know, develop the message that you want to send. You know, and that's the point of it. So, you know, I mean, that's just one thing to keep in mind when you want to work on your normals. So, aside from that, I would say you can work on your combos if you have to, but that'll come later, you know? Yeah. And that's exactly where we're starting here. I mean, that's the good thing about the Chun-Li matchup. It shows you you know, how to walk before you can fly and shit, you know. So, what else is there? We went over the escapes, like the different options there. I mean, everything else you can go back and go back to the video and you can recognize everything again. And if you want, we can come back again like another time, and we can see if you made progress with it, like maybe later or something. So, but we can come back and we'll see more progress with it, hopefully. But I mean, just absorb everything first and see where you go with it, and then the improvement will come eventually. It'll come no matter what. But I mean, obviously, don't get caught in the whole autopilot thing. Try to stray away from like players who play the same way. And every time you get a setup, it's Urian. He's practically unlimited in terms of setups. So always try to like think of new things. Try to expand on it. So just remember the sweet spot ages. The overheads. Little things like that. Mix it up like that, and you'll be fine. You'll see a lot more wins in the future. So. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good. It's good to keep. I mean, a lot of people say like, oh, like they don't care about winning or they don't care about, losing. They just want to have fun. But it's really the wins and losses that really give you a gauge on your skill as a player. So at this point, like as serious as you are with it, I would say like, when you're focused, keep an eye on your win and losses. You'll notice a difference. And when it comes to like when you mess around and stuff, okay, yeah, that's fine. But when you're focused and you want to get better overall, then yeah, keep an eye on it, and you'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the whole thing for Chun-Li and Urian. So hope. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's how it is with everything. I mean, that's you'll like when you watch match videos, that's the same thing that every player does. They notice every little thing like meter, stun, health, range, distance, like everything comes into play, and you'll see that. The, yeah, and you'll go back and see why. You'll see why I did that, or how actually. So yeah, so I'm gonna upload this. Today, for sure today, and you'll be able to see it and come back on it, and any questions you have about it, you can always like message me and stuff, and we'll go over it and stuff. Alright. So, hope you had a good time with it. I'll be messaging you later and letting you know about everything else. So we'll be fine on everything. But yeah, so for everybody else who's gonna be watching, hope you guys learned a bunch, and there's gonna be a lot more of this to come. So stick around for that later.